Hello everyone, in today's session we are going to discuss spotting errors theory part 5. So let's begin. First of all, the index, infinitive, participle and gerund. With this part we will discuss about infinitive, participle and gerund. And we'll discuss as well unattached or dangling participle. Read the disclaimer. The images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathee@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Infinitive, participle or gerund. First of all, read the definition what the infinitive is. An infinitive is the basic form of a verb such as be or run. An infinitive is used by itself or with to. So what does this definition mean? That infinitive is a verb form. It could be the base form or it could be with to. It's like we can say run, jump, go, play, or we can say to jump, to play, to go. I hope you've understood. Following verbs when used in active voice take infinitive without to. So we are talking about here about the bare infinitive. Bare infinitive is what? When a verb comes without to. Verbs are as follows: bid, let, make, feel, watch, behold, hear, overhear, notice, observe, see, know. Example: she bade me go. Let her sing. I made him sing. I didn't notice him go. So as you can see that in with these sentences we haven't used 2 plus v1 full infinitive. 2 plus v1 becomes full infinitive. We have to use here bare infinitive. The bare infinitive is what? Without to. In passive, these verbs take infinitive with to. Here we are talking about if we use these verbs in passive voice, we will use full infinitive. Full infinitive means with to. 2 plus v1. Example: he was made to sing. As you can see, it is a passive construction. P plus v3 was made. I was bidden to go. This is also a passive construction. But let always takes infinitive with to. If we talk about let, it takes infinitive without to. It means it takes a bare infinitive, either in active voice or in passive voice. She was let sing. Infinitive. Following words take bare infinitive after them. Words are as follows: had better, would rather, would sooner, sooner than, rather than, and had sooner. If you use these words or phrases, you won't use full infinitive. Bare infinitive will be used without to. Example: he had better withdraw. You had better resign. Bare infinitive use after the conjunction then. So with the conjunction then, we use bare infinitive. She is better able to speak than write. So here, we haven't used to before write. He is stronger than me. Structure have, has, had plus noun or pronoun is followed by a bare infinitive. So if you find a structure with have, has, had plus noun or pronoun, it is followed by a bare infinitive. I will have him realize his mistake. So we have used a pronoun him without to. I had him know his mistakes. So here again, know without to. But and except take the bare infinitive when they follow do nothing, anything, or everything. When you find do nothing, do anything, everything with but and except, take the bare infinitive. I can do nothing but protest. So here again, we haven't used full infinitive. Here we have used bare infinitive. He did nothing but cry. Again, we haven't used full infinitive. If two infinitives are joined by and, the two of the second infinitive is usually dropped. So we usually drop the second infinitive if we have already used two infinitive. I intend to sit in my room and read novels. As you can see that in the earlier part of the sentence we have used full infinitive to sit, and here we have used bare infinitive read only. We have dropped the two. Let's talk about gerund. Let's talk about the definition of gerund. A gerund is a noun in the form of present participle of a verb ending in ing. It's like going, jumping, running, swimming, etc. Specific use of gerund. A preposition is always followed by a gerund, not by an infinitive. So whenever you use a preposition, it is followed by a gerund. Or if you use a verb with the preposition, it would be a gerund, not an infinitive. This is a good rule. It has no exceptions. If you want to use a verb after a preposition, it must be a gerund. It's impossible to use an infinitive after a preposition. He is fond of fishing. So here you can see we have used a preposition of, and we have here used a gerund, fishing. In the next sentence, she is good at swimming. Here again we have used a preposition at, and the object has become a gerund, swimming. So we can't say swim, at swim. We have to say swimming. Unattached or dangling participle. A participle is a verbal adjective, so it must be attached to some noun or pronoun. So a participle is a kind of adjective. It should be attached or must be attached to some noun or pronoun. It means it must have a proper subject or reference. If the participle is not attached to some noun or pronoun, it is called dangling participle or misplaced participle, you can also say. Look at the following sentence to understand better. Waiting for the train, a brick fell on my feet. So here again, the subject reference is a brick. But it can be the subject reference of the verb fell, but it can't be the subject reference of the verb waiting. So it is a misplaced participle. Here we are not sure who was waiting. As you know very well that a brick can't wait. It appears that the brick was waiting for the train, which is nonsense. A participle linked in this way to the wrong noun pronoun is said to be a misrelated, or the participle waiting has no noun or pronoun to which it is attached. So we have to correct it. The above sentence should have been written as follows: while I was waiting for the train, a brick fell on my feet. So in this way you can correct this sentence: while I was waiting for the train, a brick fell on my feet. So here we have got the subject of waiting, which is I, and the subject of fell is already given, a brick. See more such examples. Standing near the gate, a dog caught her, which is incorrect because we don't know the subject reference of the standing verb. So the correct formation is: while she was standing near the gate, a dog caught her. Unattached or dangling participle. Again, how to correct this sentence? One option would be to change the subject so that it names the actor that the modifier implies. When watching films, I find commercial especially irritating. Another option would be to turn the modifier into a word group that includes the actor. When I am watching films, commercials are especially irritating. Both A and B are correct. Being a cold morning, I didn't go to the office, which is incorrect. So the correct would be: it being a cold morning, I didn't go to office. So here we have put a correct subject reference of the verb being, which is showing a state. The morning being cold, I didn't go to office, which is correct. So you can also use the morning or it being a cold morning. Unattached or dangling participle. As you can see, a dangling participle is one that either has no pronoun or noun to modify or else is not close enough to the word it is supposed to modify to prevent it from attaching to another element. In either case, the sentence is both ambiguous or nonsensical. Even if a sentence is not rendered nonsense by a dangling participle, it will still be ambiguous, and that is almost as bad. Dangling participles are not considered acceptable in standard English, so they should be avoided in writing. However, some participles as considering, regarding, concerning, taking, speaking, touching do not need to agree with the subject of the sentence. The sentence are as follows. Considering the price, the quality of the cloth is good. So here we don't need a subject reference of the participle considering. It is correct as it is. Speaking roughly, the distance between Delhi and Alwar is 150 kilometers. Taking every point into consideration, the proposal is very attractive. So I hope you have understood participle, infinitive, and gerund. So this is all about this session. Thank you. We will meet in the next session.